Hi, I'm here with Bob Lee, a founder of A Ride for Three Reasons, which has entitled 2 previous cross-country rides that has totaled over 10,000 miles. Bob, could you tell us about this experience?
Well, A Ride for Three Reasons has been a life-changing experience for me. It has been 2 rides up to this point, one in 2001, one in 2007, totaling, as you said, 10,000 miles. The third ride, which we are calling A Ride for Three Reasons Part 3, will go from Canada to Mexico down the west coast. So it's all downhill. It's going to be an easy ride.
How much money have you raised previously?
On the first 2 rides, the first ride we raised $86,000. The second ride we've raised $390,000 to the generosity of so many people. And this third ride we've upped our goal, and our goal is to raise $600,000. And by doing that, over the 3 rides, we will have accomplished well over $1 million.
Can you explain to us about the 3 causes you're riding for?
The 3 reasons are cancer, ALS, and hospice. Cancer is the #2 killer in this country. It's an epidemic. There's over 200 types of cancer, and we all need to work together to stop this epidemic. The second charity is ALS. It's Les Turner ALS Foundation. The money goes towards research with both cancer and ALS. And ALS is probably the most horrific disease I know of, where you lose all of your voluntary muscles and your mind in most cases stays perfectly clear, and eventually you lose your chest muscles and you suffocate. And the third reason is for hospice public awareness and making more people aware of the wonderful services of hospice. We're all going to die sometime, and our goal is that we die peacefully, surrounded by loved ones. If you poll people, 90% of people say they'd like to die at home. And statistically, 80% of people die in institutions. So something is wrong here by the desire of people and what actually is happening. And I think through education we can make a big difference.
Can you explain a little bit about how A Ride for Three Reasons started?
Well, it all started out of a little book called Tuesday with Maury Schwartz. And he's professor at Brandeis, and you know, one of the sayings that stick in my mind is, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. And I was ready. I was in my mid to late 50s when I was reading that book, and it had a strong impact on me to pay back, give back, pay forward, redirect my life. So instead of retiring, I have more redirected my life towards a lot of I think very good charity work and helping others and making a difference in this world. So that's the genesis of A Ride for Three Reasons, is what could I do? And Maury Schwartz would say, pay back to the community. I've always enjoyed biking. I don't consider myself a bike rider. Many people would. If I've gone ride 12,000 miles around the perimeter of the country, I consider myself more as a peddler and telling a story and using a bike as a tool.
How old were you when you started cycling?
When I first started, I was in middle school, and a teacher took us through New England, and I had the opportunity in the summer to go 2 weeks on a bike in it. And I think that showed me the appreciation. The best way to see this country is on a bike, because you're hearing, feeling, going slow enough to appreciate and absorb the beauty of our country. I then didn't bike for years and years. I started doing triathlons at age 40, and that got me back into cycling. And then when I first retired, was in my late 50s, and I started back into cycling, but had never done any long distance cycling like this for many years, but happy that I can do that now.
What were some of your fondest memories on these 2 previous cross-country rides?
The rides are full of wonderful memories of people. A lot of people, this is a solo bike ride, and a lot of people always wonder, you know, who's following you in a van or how many people are riding with you. This is a solo journey. And I have not met one unfriendly person in the 8 months that I've been on the road. And that's surprising to people, but everyone has been kind and generous. So these are the memories of just a truck driver stopping on a hill, and I'm wondering, what did he stop for? He stopped so he saw I was taking a picture and didn't want to block my picture. You know, people would roll down their car. They may have seen an interview on TV the night before, and they'd roll down their window and say, "You're the guy riding across country, aren't you? You know, here's some money for your charity." So people would, I'd meet them in 5 minutes, and they'd come back and say, "Hey, do you want to spend the night with us?" So the generosity of people, but more than just those people that I met on the ride, are the donors that have made this possible. This isn't about a bike ride. This is about fundraising and making and earning money for 3 good charities. And the donors are really what makes this ride. It's not Bob, it's the donors. And we've had thousands of them donate to Ride for 3 Reasons over the last 2 rides. And we hope to probably double that number on part 3.
Where does the money go to that you get from this charity?
That's an excellent question, because many times when people write a check, they wonder what happened to it and did it really go to work. In this case, 100% of everyone's contribution, dollar contribution, will go to one of these 3 charities. The money is being held by BADC, Barrington Area Development Council, which is a 501c organization, so it's a tax-deductible donation. That money is being held, and then it will be dispersed at the end of the ride. At the end of 2012, 3 checks will be written, 1 to each charity, equally done. The money is defined within cancer and ALS. It's restricted funds for research, because we want the money to go to work to find cures or causes, to make more people celebrate birthdays is one of the themes of American Cancer Society. So the money is all 100% going to the charities, and that's very, very important. The other thing is, throughout most of our ride, people can make a donation, and we've established what we call the Pacesetter Fund. And the Pacesetter Fund are people, large donors that are very caring, giving people that have set up a pledge to match people's donations. So throughout most of the ride, and people will be able to follow this on the website, that you give $1, and the Pacesetters will match that with 2 additional dollars. So it comes back to this 3. There's a lot of, this is part 3 of a ride. We're riding 3 countries. We have 3 charities, but we will also, if someone donates $1, 3 totally will go into Ride for 3 Reasons. So it's a 200% return on a person's charitable contribution.
Do you know anyone that has had cancer that has been affected by your rides?
That's a good question. Actually, I'm a cancer survivor, and I'm very grateful to be able to say that. I had colon cancer in 2003 after the first ride, and I look back at how many people did fundraising and made contributions to research that allowed me to be now a cancer survivor. And I think that's our responsibility, all of us, to contribute now to help, because there'll be, just in this country alone, 1.5 million people this year will be told, you have cancer. And so we all need to work together to try to eliminate that. But on my travels, I couldn't stop. You know, one of my panniers, the side bags on my bike, had cancer on it. And so people always would come up with cancer stories. And there's very, very few families out here that haven't been touched by cancer. So, yes, I do know people. My wife is a cancer survivor. I'm a cancer survivor. Lots of our friends are cancer survivors. We have 11.7 million cancer survivors. And if we wouldn't have that many if it wasn't for previous people making contributions and making a difference.
Now, if I may ask, how old are you?
Well, you certainly can ask. And I'm really proud to say that I've celebrated my 69th birthday. And American Cancer Society, their whole theme is celebrating more birthdays. So I look forward to celebrating more birthdays. When I ride next year, I will be in 2012, I'll be 70. So it's a celebration of being 70, and I feel very fortunate to be able to do that.
Could you give those people out there who may think I'm too old to do this some health advice?
Well, I'm not sure when we become too old to do things. A lot of that is mental. Probably the best exercise, I think, for all people is something that Tim Russett said. And he said, the best exercise for our heart is leaning down and helping someone else get up. And that's basically what A Ride for Three Reasons is all about. It's helping others, those with cancer, those with ALS, those that are struggling through end-of-life care issues. So that's what this is about. From a healthcare, yes, we have to eat right, we have to exercise, but I think we all have to be passionate about something and a cause and know that we're making a difference in people's lives. So I love Tim Russett's comment, lean down and pick someone else up really helps the heart. So that's the best exercise I could recommend to anyone of any age.
Well, thank you, Bob. We appreciate your time.
Certainly my pleasure. Thanks.